Okay, I'm just putting my boots on. Go and deal with some old wooden bullshit before the rain starts later on this afternoon. Want to point out a few of my principles and concepts and things I've noticed and things that I run by and patterns and shit like that. As a few of you know the whole Elvis scene, I've been around it for more than 2.5 years, probably 3 years. And I come to realise over time that there's a few things that really define him and things that newbies don't get and stuff like that. Now, as you probably noticed, I haven't been making a great deal of videos on the guy, not as many as I used to. I like fighting e-beggars, there's no question about it. I come in from the group of people fighting Troy Reed, and well, the long and short of it is that you know, I come in with several other people, and that was our experience at the time. Come to realise in due course he's a narcissist, and some of these people actually like the drama and like the fight. The average idiot, the average newbie won't understand, and I mean Tasha's said this straight out, Narce said this straight out. Marshall considers any news, publicity, videos on him to be positive, and it doesn't matter how many frickin' negative videos are out there. Ultimately, he likes more videos about him because it believes that it increases his fame, regardless of the fact that they're negative. Now, a lot of people have said to TM Movies, who's actually run by Signature EMR, or Jeff Tower, as some of you will know him as. He's had a lot of people accuse him of only promoting Elvis. And see, that's where that idea comes from, that you're essentially promoting the guy because he likes all videos about him. So long as they're not terribly negative, and then he can sometimes get shitty, and then other times he likes parodies. He recommends that people watch TM Movies and Anthony Norbecker, who show all these ridiculous shit. You know, what I've come to realise too is, first of all, he's not an e-beggar in the normal sense. Most e-beggars are, there's some blame game. It really runs on a victim mentality. The trolls did this, or poor me, I blew a transmission, or this or that. It's always a fucking poor me, you've got to help me, da-da-da-da-da. That's your general e-begging. There's some sort of manipulation behind it, whereas Elvis is as blatant as a bum on a street corner asking you for $1. He just asks it so straight out. It's not e-begging in the particular, like in the more common manipulative lying sense. It's, and sometimes it is within 20% of the time it is, but 80% of the time it's just blatantly asking for money, and therefore it's not quite the e-begging, the manipulative type that most of us are used to. So I'm not so worried about it, because it's more like a bum just directly asking you for money, because essentially that's what it is. He's a bum in a van instead of a bum on the street corner. Point number 2 is a lot of his stuff is just so fucking repetitive. Like, I've made 3 videos when he's done a certain thing, but see, he does the same bullshit a month or 2 later, and you make another video talking about it, and then he does the same bullshit another 3 months later, and you make another video. By the time you've essentially talked about the same thing 3 or 4 times, because he's done it 3 or 4 times, what's the point? it becomes obvious that it's actually history just repeating itself. This guy does a stupid thing, but that's just this cycle. All his life runs in a giant cycle. You know, he has people, they come in, they give him money, he burns them, they go out, there's another mug that comes in, gives him more money, you know, and he goes through these cycles of block everybody. When the money runs out, he unblocks everybody, all the trolls come back, then he starts ranting and raving, I don't care about you trolls, this, that, the other, blah, blah, blah. Then he starts to slowly block again, until he's blocked everyone, and then he's, like he said last time, oh, I'm worried people who might have donated have been blocked. Never his fault. It's always, everything's always blamed on someone else. You know, even people being blocked is blamed on the moderators, not on him. Oh, it's rogue moderators on a pathway. Everything this guy does is a fucking cycle. How many damn videos can you make about, well, guess what? He's gone through this cycle again. This is the 4th time I've said that he's done this thing. Oh, fucking who cares? It's just, it becomes obvious in the end it's a cycle. And you can say, well, he done this and he said that and that's blah, blah, blah. But actually, you wind it back a few months and it's happened 2 or 3 times in the last fucking 9 months, you know? Like, you know. So it's a bit of a pointless exercise in, you know, instead of remaking the same stuff over and over. So in essence, you know, I'm not saying it's wrong to fight against the guy. I'm not saying that we don't need people in there to, you know, wake up donors. But some of these people, if they're donating, they lose their money. It's just, they're fucking stupid if they haven't watched for 2 or 3 days. And there's people who do go in there and do donate the first night. Some women have. And, you know, well, they lost their money because they're stupid, you know. These are the same sort of people that are, you know, give $1 to a beggar on the corner. Who knows, you know, if they're willing to give you money on the first night, they're dickheads that will believe anything. But having said that, I'm a little bit like, it's like the whole Trump-Venezuela thing, you know. Sometimes I watch RT, and it is full of these Russian nationalists in the comments, all squealing about, oh, America this, America that, America something else. Even, you know, ISIS, America was helping defeat ISIS in Syria, right alongside the Russians. Oh, well, they've bought an S-400 missile into Thinger. Oh, we're going to show the Americans, if the Americans play games, they're going to get the S-400. Where the fuck are you going to fire an S-400 to? It's not making it to America. America is your ally. The reason they actually bought it in was after Turkey shot down one of their fighter jets. If Turkey wanted to fucking get involved in the Syrian war, maybe those S-400s would be hitting fucking a Syrian airbase. A Turkish airbase to keep Turkey and their fucking nose out of the fucking, you know, situation. And, but all these idiots, they're so full of this fucking Russian nationalism that is converted into the form of just pure American hatred. That, you know, it's bullshit, but getting to the point, I've seen stuff on Venezuela, and, Trump wants to invade Venezuela, or Trump wants to do this, Trump wants to do that, Trump fucking blah, 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 blah. Trump is not Bush. He's not hanging in there with a whole bunch of neoconservatives, you know, and all his oil company mates and all that, you know, because Trump's not Bush. And the guy's also got enough brains to work out something, regardless of all this sort of bullshit of, you know, all the Venezuelans are going to kick the Americans' asses when they come and America wants to attack Venezuela. No, you stupid nationalist Russian Fruit Loop. They don't need to. Trump's smart enough to realise that you just wait it out a little bit and Venezuela's going to go down the shithole anyway of its own fucking accord. You know, sure they give it a bit of food aid, but they know it's not going anywhere. They know. It's collapsing on its own. And I'm not saying that Elvis hasn't been collapsing forever, because he has been. But see, he always has these moments where he thinks about his life and his future direction, which is another one of the cycles, just like the same one that he's got another one where I'm going to leave YouTube, and then he decides no, he's going to stay. I've got to think about my future, I've got to get a real job, and then he decides no, I'm just going to focus on the YouTube channel. And these are cycles that also spin around, just like the fucking block-unblock cycle, you know. And see, this time YouTube is indeed changing. A lot of people are having a lot of things done with their channels, and not in a good way. And well, if you got less than 10,000 subs, your monetization is going to be cut off, and they reckon in due course, you know, that might change, and it might be more like 50 or 100,000 subs before you get your check. You know, they're just trying to slowly squeeze the fucking life out of it. And I noticed a recent change, very recently, on my phone. The damn bastard's putting 2 ads in a row at the start of a video. You go to watch a video, and instead of saying this ad so many seconds, it says ad 1 of 2. And often enough, it'll play 2 short ads at the very start of the video. They've increased the amount of fucking ads. Instead of having 1 ad at the start, they've sometimes now got 2 in a row. One right behind the other before you even get to start the video. And the inevitable fact is, you know, that, you know, come July, this is all going to be over. They're also going to kill off Hangouts. How's his view count going to go if there's no more Hangouts, if there's no more live streams? Monetization is going, and Hangouts are going, for everybody except business users who fucking pay money for it. You know what's going on here. And the business user one's more set up as like a conference call, type of like a fucking competitor to Skype, basically. I don't even know how that's going to go if people have got Skype, but you're supposed to be able to get about 6 people, or whatever it is at the moment, maybe 8 people or so on. But that's like, you know, one that you're going to be paying $20 a month for or some bullshit, you know. We can sit back and just watch the last couple months of this go down as a circus, and then it's fucked. And this is the good part. Sometime after July, we're going to get to be able to see the real good circus, where he slowly but surely runs out of money altogether because of monetization being cut off and stuff like that. And, you know, inevitability is going to occur, and it's all going to take care of itself, just like Venezuela. Just like a lot of these joints that just slowly fucking fall a bit, you know. There's a few other things. You know, one time I said I supported someone, and I sort of regretted saying that, because, well, it turned out, you know, well, I support them because they're fighting against Elvis. Yeah, well, there's one, and now I wouldn't be terribly surprised if there's a second one. It's actually trolls that turn around and attack other trolls to the point they do more damage to their own allies than they're doing to e-beggars. And I got a hell of a lot of views in a short time and a lot of comments on the first one. Some of you may know who I'm talking about. he's still on Boyd, but he spends a lot of effort and a lot of time. But you know, he also seems to be lying quite a lot, and ultimately sort of regret saying I supported him, because it became all too apparent all too soon that he was more interested in cutting up other people, and I should have seen it before, but I was just supporting the part where he was cutting apart Elvis, not realising how many other people he was cutting apart in the process. And I should have known, but I was just trying to make that point that he's doing one good thing, but the trouble was, one good thing really isn't enough if you cause more damage amongst your own. And we've had a second person who may be sort of going down that road, or may not be, you know. But I don't fucking fully trust him. And you know, sometimes you got to learn these lessons, you know. The other thing I like to do is focus on e-beggars and moral things as well. There's nothing wrong with showing, you know, doing stuff around here, blah blah, I put in water pipes, whatever. You know, look, I'm fixing up the van, I added to the van, I've modified the van, blah blah blah. That's not a problem, you know, as well as fighting e-beggars. But I hate the idea of being morally good by fighting e-beggars and then turning around and waking up one morning and deciding, oh, this channel and these viewers, it'd be a good idea to show my tits. Well, not bare tits, but maybe cleavage, and suddenly divert from fighting e-beggars to showing your fucking cleavage. I don't think, really, trolls who should be, you know, focused on fighting morally corrupt people should then just turn and fall down a fucking hole and decide that, well, you know, let's do something that isn't really top of the morals list, and you know, oh, well, I've got all you trolls watching, by the way, I better promote my cleavage. Oh, fuck off. God blimey, I thought we were on the side of moral goodness here, not the side of moral fucking booby showing, you know, like, I know they weren't bare tits, but fuck me drunk, you know. Hanging around with a group of people who are fighting morals, fighting to keep people scamming and mooching money, these should be the best people to show me cleavage to. Oh, no, it wouldn't. I don't fucking like that either. Not at all, and many of you guys obviously found that out. It's just a few of the things and the principles that I work on, and I'll make another video at some point on the sort of the things that, as a troll, you sort of go through. There's a series of, first you're in there fighting like hell, and then, you know, and you get stressed by it, and then you go through different stages. And some people have gone through stages faster than I have, maybe due to life experience, probably. And I'm going to talk about a few of those stages, but it can vary a bit, you know, especially if you're like I was with Troy Reid, where you've actually promoted the guy before you've actually come to the realisation he's a rogue, and then you feel like, fuck me, you know, I've got to go harder than most trolls because I've actually promoted this guy, so I've got to equally pull him down again because I've done the wrong thing by building him up. You know, and you sort of, yeah, it depends on your closeness in the situation, and also your realisation of things in your life experience that allows you to realise it quicker. The different things stages you go through, and I'll make a video on that separately.